It's time we have a serious discussion about Igor Tudor. A lot of people are saying, is he the right man for the Juventus job? Tudor in, Tudor out. Everyone has an opinion. People have asked me, what do I think about the situation? I'm going to break it down for you right now. Is this whole predicament this season based solely on Tudor? No. It's a culmination of what's gone on over the last 18 months. You can go back even further if you like. For the last 5 years, since 2020, when Juventus lifted their last Scudetto title with Sarri, that team there, onwards, you can argue that every single season was a failure. Because for a club like Juventus, if you don't win the league or the Champions League, it's a failure. Yes, we've had a few seasons where we've won the Coppa Italia. We've won the Coppa Italia and the Supercoppa, like the 2020-21 season with Pirlo. But for me, if we don't win the league, it's a failure. And we haven't been competitive in the last 5 years. It's not the last year, 6 months, 18 months, 2 years. It's a culmination of time. Everything has built up to this moment almost. That's the best way to say it. Is Tudor the best coach in the world? No. Is he fairly inexperienced for a coach that's coaching a massive global club like Juventus who need to be challenging year in, year out? Yes. Do I think he's bad? No. Am I Tudor out? No. However, there are questions to be asked. First of all, we need to talk about the board this season. The signings they made. Was signing Apenda, Jonathan David on a free, confirming Conceição, Zagrova, 4 very good attacking options, the right decision? Some might say yes, some might say no. For me, I like the bravery in the market. I think we left it a little bit last minute, but in my opinion, where we made a mistake in the market was not signing a defender and another midfielder. Look at the Villarreal game. With no Thuram in the middle of the park, with no Bremer in the defence, we capitulated. We played 45 minutes of football. Jekyll and Hyde FC, they call us. Oxymoronic Football FC, they call us. Do you understand, boys? So if a Thuram is out or a Locatelli is out, the midfield is weak. We've got Miretti injured as well. Then you got Coop Miners, you got McKennie, and you got Adzic. But Adzic, he can play anywhere really. He's not a double pivot kind of midfielder. He's a more advanced 8, creative, freedom midfielder. We needed to strengthen that position. But for me, where we have the biggest issues is in the defence. What we should have done was lock off Leone. Leone should have come to Juventus, not to Liverpool. 35 million. Yes, it's a lot for an 18-year-old, but he was experienced in the Serie A. He was proven. He was a top-class centre-half. You saw in the Liverpool game when he tore his ACL how good he was. Let me tell you something, guys. If he never tore his ACL, Konate would be sitting on bench right now, and it'd be Leone and Van Dijk. 35 million was a steal. Will he return to that height after his ACL tear? Who knows? But if he played for Juventus, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. We could have even signed Renato Vega on a permanent. I think that Chelsea wanted too much money for him personally, but he would have been a good option. We could have gone and gotten a Laporte, experienced centre-half for only 10, 15 million from Saudi. He could still play at the top level of European football. One of the few players in Saudi that could still play at the top level of European football. So you need to look at these question marks and think, okay, did the board fully back Tudor in the market? I would say yes with the signings they made. Did they make the correct signings though? That's a different conversation. Did Comoli make the right decisions in the right areas of the football pitch? Possibly not. I think we needed a defender. I think we needed a centre mid as well. But most definitely a centre half, which we didn't get. However, we also need to look at the players. One thing I won't criticise though is the players' mentality, dedication and adoration for the shirt. This team here for me has developed a lot mentally since Motta to Tudor. And that's why I give Tudor a lot of props. I think Tudor has gotten the best out of these players. I think Tudor has really changed the ambience at the club, almost like when we're losing, when we're down by 2 goals, when it seems like we're dead and buried, we're not. In reality, we're still in the game. In reality, we can turn this around, something that we weren't really doing with Motta. You look at the last 6 months with Tudor, how many times have we come back? How many times has it seemed like we've been dead and buried and we've resurrected? Gotten the win, gotten a draw. And we've done that countless times already this season, bro. Going down against Dortmund, Inter, for example, Villarreal. So that's one thing I can't fault, the players' work rate and determination. However, what I do want to talk about Tudor is his tactical decisions. Something that is going to be so key on the Sunday. You're going up against Allegri, an experienced manager. A manager that's won six Serie A titles, 5 at Juventus. One of the most prestigious coaches we've seen in Italian football history. A man that not created, but was a factor in the most dominant dynasty in Italian football history. That elevated that Juventus team in the 9-year dominance to European stardom. So Allegri knows what he's doing. And so far this season, Allegri has got everything spot on. First game was a little bit of a blunder against Cremonese, but you see how they bounced back. And Allegri's team is structured very well. Their defense is very strong. They got individuals across the pitch that can cause us damage. The Luca Modric, the Pulisic's of this world. So what are we going to do to counter-attack it? That's what I'm asking Igor Tudor. That's what I want to see from him on Sunday. I want to see some tactical prowess. I want to see more bravery with the starting 11. I want to see us go toe-to-toe with this Milan team, which is a good ball-playing side. Don't think that they're all defensive. That was only because they went down to 10 men against Napoli. Before that, they were playing free-flowing football. Riverbank FC. So I want to see a brave starting 11 going into the lineup. This is where I'm going to talk about Tudor, because this was the lineup, obviously, against Villarreal. Very pessimistic lineup. And here are where my question marks come in, where I look at Tudor and think, is he the right man? For me, right now, manager market's a bit dry. There's not really many replacements, so I don't think getting rid of him would really benefit us at all. That's why I'm not like Tudor out or anything like that, but I do want to see some sort of change. I want to see more bravery. I don't want to see this formation. I don't want to see this formation at all going in against AC Milan. For me, we need to go with a starting 11, which is offensively very strong. I need to see a lot of firepower in the attack. I've come up with this team. This team right here. This would be my team. I'd go 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, whatever you really want to call it. Di Gregorio in goal, Cambiaso, Kelly, Bremer, Kalulu. That's my defence. Look, Cabal's injured. Cabal can't play fullback. Kelly maybe left back, but I'm not a fan of that. I think Cambiaso has to play that. I think Kalulu's a better fullback than Kelly is. Bremer, if he trains with the first team, which I think today he wasn't training with the first team, unfortunately, should be in the two-man defence, of course. Next to him, Kelly, left centre-back. I would do a three-man midfield of Locatelli at the base, who we saw an elite level performance against Villarreal from. He was dictating the tempo of the game. He needs to start every game for me. Thuram, who was with the group today, luckily in training, who hopefully will be fully fit for the Milan game in that box-to-box role. That's where I go. Adzic in that advanced 8 role, that sort of Odegaard role, where he's got a lot of freedom. I would start Conceição on the right. I would have Kenan Yildiz off the left, and I would keep Jonathan David up front, to be honest. I mean, you could go Vlahovic here, Appenda potentially, but I do think Jonathan David, in terms of his link-up play, can drop in here. He can link up with Yildiz, he can link up with Conceição, link up with Adzic. These two can be intricate. It could be an interesting sort of move from the start. I think it could be something that will trouble the AC Milan defence. In terms of the big man, the defenders are quite big. Starting a Vlahovic might not be the best tactical decision, I would say. This offers more unpredictability. Then obviously on the right, you could also have Zagrova there. But for me, Conceição, what he did against Villarreal, he deserves to start. I think one important thing to note is that Estupiñán is not going to be playing. So for me, on that left-hand side here, against Pavlovic, Estupiñán, we can cause them problems. Now, of course, Bartesaghi will probably be starting there, unless Allegri switches up the formation. And that's where someone like Conceição or Zagrova or Adzic in the half pockets could flourish, could cause some issues to them. They're dynamic players, they're technical players, they're going to point the man. And I think that could be an area where you could argue the game could be won. With bravery, with trickery. That's what I want to see. For example, starting a Koopmeiners on the right will not benefit us. I mean, against anyone, Koopmeiners isn't a natural winger. I feel like Tudor cannot start Koopmeiners. There's no way he can after the performance he dropped against Villarreal. So I definitely want to see a change in system. However, the big issue is, will he do this against AC Milan? I don't think he will. I don't think he will, boys. But I do want to see, if you're going to play a 3-4-3, I need you to play me an attack of Conceição, David and Yildiz. I need to see that. I need to see firepower. I need to see... And then a wing-back partnership of João Mario and Cambiaso. I know I got Kalulu here because Kalulu's solid as a right-back. In a 4-back, Kalulu can play on the right. In a 5-back, he cannot. Because he doesn't have the end product. He doesn't have the creativity in the final third. And wing-backs are very involved in offensive play. If I'm being honest, this game against Milan, for me, will sort of tell me whether we'll be in the Scudetto race for the long run or not. I'll be honest. If we lose at home to Milan, it's going to be another top 4 charge. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm being realistic. That's the reality. If AC Milan get the 3 points in Turin, AC Milan, for me, them and Napoli will be top 2 favourites. For us, it's going to be hard. Because these are the games where you need to win the head-to-heads. If you want to win the Scudetto, we know it better than anyone. We've won it the most times out of any club in Italy. You win your head-to-heads. You beat Inter. You beat AC Milan. You beat Napoli, Roma. All the other teams that are fighting for the league title. All the other top teams, you win. If you win those, chilling. You can even drop a point here or there against a lesser team because you know you have the advantage because you've beaten the bigger teams, even if they recollect points throughout the season. We did that against Inter. We didn't do that against Atalanta. We need to do that on Sunday. So to answer everyone's question, no, I'm not Tudor out right now. Do I think he still needs to change and modify and reform the way he plays and be more experimental and more brave? Yes. Do I think all the alarms are ringing right now? It's danger, danger, danger? No. The season is still very early. It's still in its infancy. But Sunday's game is massive. We have to win to be a serious title contender. But as always, boys, let me know in the comment section what you think about Tudor, your predictions for the game on Sunday. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 10k likes. Share it to some friends, and I'll see you in the next one.